evening and welcome to NAACP Perspectives, an informative program intended to highlight the agenda and accomplishments of the Johnstown NAACP and also showcase the talents and achievements of members of our minority community. I'm Gladys Clifton, the Johnstown NAACP's current communications chair and your host for these broadcasts. This evening I'm very pleased to have as my guest Mr. Ronald Fisher, who is a local young man who has lived here all his life, and currently he is a managing director, office manager at First Commonwealth Bank in downtown Johnstown. Welcome, Ronald.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. You're of course, the third member of the family. Our viewers will probably remember Mrs. Cheryl Fisher, who is a local caterer of note, who was on many months ago, and just a few months ago, your sister Alexis, who's works not in banking exactly, but in finance, in helping people with investments. Investments, yes. Very interesting career, too. Well, we want to talk a little bit about you, though. This is your show, and you were born and educated here in town.
Yes, born and raised.
And went to school at
Greater Johnstown High School.
Oh, yes.
Go Trojans.
Yes, yes, they have been going, haven't they?
Definitely.
All right. And post-high school, what was your
I went to
path?
IUP. I graduated 2004 with a bachelor's degree in general management.
I see. And after that, you of course hope to be gainfully employed, and I trust you were.
Definitely. Well, you know, with a degree in management, it's a pretty broad field. It's hard to go in with a degree and start off as a manager.
Yes, it is these days.
And work your way up. So, you know, I definitely work towards getting to the management field I'm in right now. I sold everything from cutlery to cars.
Oh, you were a salesperson
Definitely,
for a while.
Definitely.
Yes, yes. And how did you manage to make the transition, though? Obviously, you must have looked around and said, I think I can do better, and you looked at banking. How did that come about?
Well, me personally, I'm always striving to become better. I'm never really satisfied with what I'm doing. I'm always looking for more. I was actually selling cars at the time, and with a degree, selling cars just wasn't where I was trying to be. At the time, I kept looking into classifieds. I seen a job opportunity with First Commonwealth Bank down in Indiana. I figured I was going to run with it at that time.
I see. And of course, you were already familiar with the community of Indiana from having done your college degree there.
Definitely.
And that probably was helpful.
It's like a second home almost.
Yes, yes. And so you signed on at First Commonwealth up in Indiana, and what was your position there? You didn't sign on as a manager?
No, of course not. I started off as a client service rep. What I did is I did everything above the teller. I've opened up checking accounts, savings accounts, CDs, home loans, IRAs. I did it all pretty much.
And did that involve usually sitting down with clients? And
actually I had my own office, and the clients would just come in and sit down with me, and I would take it from there. I didn't have any prior banking, so it was pretty tough the first couple months to get an understanding of what was going on in the banking industry in
what kind of training was offered to you, or was it mostly just on the job sort of training?
I definitely had some training courses. A lot of it, however, was on the job. A lot of it can't be trained, so you kind of have to get a feel for it, get a feel for clients. But the first maybe 2 or 3 months, I probably went home with my head spinning. I didn't know who I was at sometimes, but it definitely worked out, of course.
And what was your favorite part of that job? You mentioned several sorts of things you did.
Actually, my favorite part was actually dealing with people. I love dealing with people. I love solving issues for people. If a client comes in and they're upset, regardless if they're upset or happy, I always want to put a smile on their face before they leave, and that's the best part to me.
I see. And you were pretty successful at getting the smiles.
I'd say.
Okay. And you handled loans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, loans are pretty tough right now.
Yes.
Yeah, the good thing about First Commonwealth is we stayed out of that prime sub mortgage deals. You know, a lot of banks were going under because of that. You know, First Commonwealth Bank, we didn't take any of that taxpayer money at all through the TARP program. So stayed away from that. We're doing pretty good.
Well, good for First Commonwealth, and good for you,
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, since that is your home base and where you are. Well, so you were how long did you stay at Indiana's First Commonwealth branch?
Well, I'll actually be with the bank 2 years next month. I started downtown just on September 30th, actually. So almost 2 years there.
Okay, 2 years in Indiana, and you have just for about a month you've been back home, so to speak.
It's good to be home.
I'm sure. Good not to be commuting over winter roads to Indiana.
Yes, long mornings, long evenings.
Yes. And as you mentioned before we went on camera, you really found it hazardous and dangerous on those roads.
Yeah, I actually had an accident where my vehicle had flipped 3 or 4 times one morning going to work. You know, going to work, it's snow outside, it's dark still, not being totally alert. But the good thing is I walked away from it okay. My vehicle, like I said, didn't make it, but I'm still here. That's the important thing. That
is so important. That is first importance. Well, you have moved up a bit. Now you are your current job again is?
Office manager.
You are an office manager of the downtown branch of First Commonwealth here, and what is the current your current job description, so to speak? What all is involved in that?
Well, basically managing the branch is my branch, and I have to see that it's ran perfectly. You know, I have a staff of another client service rep as myself. The same position I worked actually in Indiana, and then I have a teller staff of 4. So my job is to oversee, make sure everything's working properly, and also to bring some business to the branch itself.
Oh, how would you go about that? I mean,
that's what I'm learning right now. You know, I'm downtown Johnstown, and a lot of people say that, you know, downtown's dead. You know, what are you going to do there? I remember when I first started, they said, oh, you guys have 40 storefronts downtown, only 17 businesses opened. You know, but so what? You know, my back's against the wall. Perfect. I have nothing but room to move up. What I do, I go out and basically brush shoulders, go and introduce myself to some of the local businesses, and basically see what I can do for them. Actually, it's not me going out and looking for business immediately, but just going to introduce myself, give them a warm welcome, a warm greet, and hopefully we can do something down the road.
Oh, yes, making contacts, networking.
That's what it's all about, networking.
Yes.
I don't need your money, just your support.
Very important in almost any field you go into these days, I would say. Yes. So you have you've landed in an area where you, it seems to me, are pretty contented.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would wonder how would you and you've done well. You came through you know, high school successfully, obviously, and graduated from college, and started out at jobs that were, you know, not exactly what you wanted, but there they were, and you were, you know, you were ready for them. And finally, of course, you found your niche, so to speak. How would you advise young people today who are still in school, say, to think about the future and think about career focus, what what has made you so successful, do you think? This is sort of
I know what you're
personal
saying.
question.
You know, being in this new position, I feel like I'm a true testament that, you know, being a hard worker and setting goals will definitely pay off for you. My quote to the young would probably be never to let up, because the day you let up is the day you give up on yourself.
Okay, by never let up, you mean if you don't accept, a rejection and just go off?
Yeah, you can't give up. You can't give up. You know, people who are scared to fail are going to fail to succeed.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, like I said, I've always wanted more. I'm never satisfied with what I have. I'm always striving, and that's the mindset that these young people need to have. Because once you become satisfied, you've really given up.
Okay. All right. And that sounds like ambition, and giving advice to young people then to be ambitious, and also to not underestimate what you can accomplish.
Yeah, definitely. At the end of the day, I want to have no regrets. I want to know that I definitely tried my hardest.
Okay. Well, that certainly makes sense, and I can see that you probably will continue to move up in life, because that is an attitude that is important. And we recently spoke with people who are involved in mentoring young people and trying to steer them toward careers, and I think someone like yourself would be a perfect candidate to join in and be not only a role model, but a mentoring sort of person, because you are very clear about what is important as far as succeeding in life, and you're an example. So there.
Thank you.
Well, anyway, what else? I'm sure that banking is taking up a good bit of your mental energy and time these days, since you're doing a new job here in Johnstown. But you must have other interests as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have the entrepreneur spirit, so I definitely spend a lot of time helping my mother with her catering business, who is actually doing pretty well right now.
Oh, I would think so.
Yeah, I talked to her earlier, and she said she had a lot of people calling and emailing her with requests for the upcoming holidays. And I told her too much work is never a problem. You know.
True. If no one was calling,
then there's a problem. So yeah, I spent some time definitely with her business. Recently, I got involved with some of my peers and family members that I grew up with. They're a local talent promotion company here within Johnstown. They're actually called 56 and Running Entertainment, and what they do is they promote local artists and themselves. Now, they've done some shows.
What was the name of the group again?
56 and Running, like Route 56, the highway.
Oh, yes.
Yes, definitely. They've done some shows from here to Florida, actually. Johnstown, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Boston, D.C. And what we do is we actually promote the artists within our company and local artists here in Johnstown.
And would you like to name a few of the people, the artists that have been involved?
Some of the people I work closely with is Chris Bedell, Marcus Howling, Trevor Mangum, Lamar Porcher. Those are some of the founders of the company, and we have other acts that we're working on right now, trying to get everything prepared for 2011. But with some of our downtime, we've done a lot of community involvement lately. We did a neighborhood cleanup in the Hornerstown and Moxon neighborhoods. So actually, we had some good participation, went pretty well.
Okay, just getting out and picking up trash?
Yeah, cleaning up.
Okay.
We had some other volunteers come up, bring some garbage bags, bring some gloves, and we had some kids, adults. We had a lot of people come by. And
Oh, that's nice to get the community going on that sort of thing. It raises everybody's spirits, I think, to neaten up. And
I always feel like if you want to, maybe take from the community, you have to give first, and that's what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to give back.
All right. I think that is admirable, and wish you all success.
Thank you.
And any other purely recreation? Now, those are all wonderful things, the give back and the service to the community, and also the 56 and running.
Yes.
Yes. That's that sounds like fun. Any other purely any purely recreational things you do?
No, there's no more time.
I can believe it. I
have that. I have a 4-year-old little boy.
Oh.
He started preschool last month, and he takes up all the rest of my time.
Oh my goodness! Oh, yeah. And what is he interested in?
Everything. At least that's the way it seems.
I see. Well, that keeps you on your toes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Where does he go to preschool?
He goes at the preschool right here on Broad Street.
Okay.
It's a pretty good preschool. I was worried about him going because he didn't go to any daycare or anything, but he's adjusted very well, and I'm very proud of him.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think at 4, they're often ready to go out there and be social animals.
Definitely.
Too. Yeah, that is good preparation for school to have already been in a peer group and had that sort
like
of
you said,
thing.
networking.
Yeah, yeah. You can't start too early, can you?
No.
All right. What's his name?
Ramir. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe he'll be pleased to hear his name on TV if you happen to think of having him look in when we're broadcast.
He keeps attention on it.
Yes. Oh my. Well. We always like when we have people like you on to complete the profile. We sort of skated along over your family. We left out your dad.
Yes.
Because he hasn't been on the show, but I'm sure he could be.
I'm sure he could be on maybe an hour-long special with you.
Really? Is he a talker too? All right. Well, you might want to give him a shout out too, since we are here and in front of the camera.
Definitely. Hello, Dad. My dad has been working with the Johnstown Wire Technologies. He's put over 30 years of time in there since the old Bethlehem Steel days.
My goodness.
My father, to me, is symbolic of Johnstown. The blue-collar worker, that's always there early in the morning and late to leave. Definitely. I'm very proud of my father. He definitely instilled most of the values.
30 years. Wow. And still going strong. I would think he'd be ready to retire.
Yeah, that's definitely the plan. Probably within the next few years, but he still has some time to go. I won't bring it up to him right now.
Okay. Well, my goodness, he'll certainly deserve it after all of that, and. Yeah, and it's remarkable. He must have been a really valued worker because so many people had to move on as Bethlehem Steel collapsed, really, here in the community. And
that was a tough time. People were losing pensions and things like that. But yeah, he was, I guess, lucky to hold his job there, and he's still working there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it definitely worked out for him.
All right. And did he and your mother must have valued education a lot, because I both you and Alexis have certainly.
They definitely instilled some pretty good values within us. Never too strict at all, but they definitely told us, this is what you want, this is how you have to get there, and I ran with it.
And you did, and you've certainly come a long ways and gotten many goals. Speaking of goals, though, what are your you say you're never satisfied. So as you look ahead, what are some of your goals currently? What do you think you want to achieve and have in a few years?
You know what? Goal-wise, I'm always striving to get to the top of the mountain. Right now, I feel like I'm at the top of the mountain, but there's always another mountain. Mm-hmm. I plan to be the office manager at the downtown Johnstown branch for a while now. You know, I've been out in Indiana, and now this is a perfect chance for me to get back home and give back to the community. It's so nice to be back home, and the warm responses I get from people that come in that have no idea that I'm here. You know, it's a great time to be here. So I'm stuck in the moment right now. I'm loving it. I don't plan to go anywhere anytime soon, but the plan is to always keep it moving. And you know, maybe a few years down the road, maybe there's another opportunity that comes about. Mm-hmm. So I don't look for a certain position within the company, but I'm always trying to get to the higher spot. Definitely, the ladder is always there for me.
Yes, and I'm sure if you get a chance to get your foot on the rung, that's where it'll be. Great. And any other influences besides family, obviously very strong, that were important in getting you to this point and giving you confidence and focus? Any mentors, teachers, or people of that kind that you recall?
You know, unfortunately, I can't think of any particular person that stands out to me, but family, I think, was my foundation, and I built on that. Mm-hmm. You know, I think we forget at times that family, mom and dad, they're the role models. You know, not your Ben Roethlisbergers and.
Oh, I don't think
I'm a Steelers fan, but.
Well, me too, but.
But like I said, you know, your mom and your dad, those are your role models. Those are the people that instill the values in you, and those are people that show you the way. Mm-hmm. You know, we always get caught up in the celebrity and the athlete, but it's really your family that's the foundation. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it does help also if people along the way, as you progress in life, see your value and encourage you, and that was the sort of thing I was asking about. Yeah, you know what? I got a lot of support along the way, not external support, but a lot of intrinsic. I always had people saying, you know, great job, or you know what, you have a lot of character, or you have a bright future ahead of you. You know, I always got the support, and I think that's pretty important. You know, especially with the youth. You know, a lot of the times they feel like they can't get to where they want to go. You know, in my short 28 years, I've always had the same work ethic, but you rarely see the results. You know, you rarely see what you expect to get at the end of the road, you know. And now I'm finally at the point where I'm seeing the results, and it's a great time. So all I can say is let's support each other. You know, it's a great time when we get the support, you know. Right. It rarely happens anymore. And Johnstown's such a small place that we can support each other, and we can build off each other. And grow.
I think that is very important and very wise.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm so pleased to have had the opportunity to talk with you about all you've accomplished and all you hope to accomplish. I'm sure one of the things you hope to accomplish is setting Ramir on a similarly good path in life.
Definitely. I want him to be better than I am.
I think parents are like that. They always hope for that when they have children. And 4 is a really interesting age. To get back to Ramir for a moment, does he show signs of, particular talents in one direction or another? Is he?
Well, Definitely athletic. There's times I can't catch him running around the backyard. You know?
Okay.
You know, and I want to definitely let him know that it's not just about being an athlete, though. You gotta have the mindset first.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it doesn't hurt to be a little bit athletic. Did you play sports in school?
Definitely. I definitely played sports. You know, I did everything from basketball to track. You know, but that's not what got me in the seat today.
Yes.
You know? And I think people
yes.
fall back on that and forget from time to time.
Yes, it's that is important. So many times young people feel that that is the be-all and end-all, and you know, being the star athlete. And of course, it can be pretty wonderful, but it usually doesn't last, you know. So few kids will ever get to go to the pros, for example. Yeah. Well, it's really been a pleasure to talk to you and hear a little bit about your family too. Well, about your mother anyway. I'm glad her catering business is going so well. I hope Alexis has lots of clients as well. Definitely.
I just talked to her. Alexis is my little sister, and she's very competitive. We're very competitive, so we're always going at each other. You know, I'm in the bank, she's in investment, so we're always, it's nonstop with her.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that keeps both of you on your toes.
Oh, definitely. She definitely keeps me on my toes.
Yes. Well, as I was saying, I'm really pleased to catch up with the Fisher family, especially you this evening, Ron.
I appreciate that.
And I wish you all success as you, you know, keep striving, as you say you obviously will be doing. I'm not sure I have any more questions. Is there anything you'd like to add about just where you've been and where you're going?
Like I said, I'm definitely a true testament that, you know, hard work definitely pays off. You know, I wouldn't be here today if I ever gave up on myself just one time. I'm here and I don't plan to go anywhere anytime soon. You know, I'm at First Commonwealth downtown Johnstown, 217 Franklin Street. I can be reached at 814-533-6816. And like I said, I'm not looking for, you know, anybody's money. I just need the support. I think that's what we lost somewhere around the way, is the support of each other, you know. And I definitely want to revitalize Johnstown and give back. You know, I'm looking to get into some kind of community involvement or to be a volunteer somehow or some fashion sometime soon myself.
Okay. Well, that's the spirit. That's what will revive the community, if anything does, for sure. Thank you so much, Ron Fisher, for being here this evening and sharing, you know, your autobiography, so to speak, and your thoughts on life. And thanks to the audience out there who might want to contact the NAACP. I see our contact information, Post Office Box 1064, Johnstown, PA 15907 is up there, along with our email, naacpj@aol.com, and we have a phone number where you can contact us. If you do not get an answer, you will certainly leave a message, and your call will be returned at 535-6937. Thanks again, Ron Fisher, and thanks again, all of you viewers out there. My guest this evening, once more, has been Ron Fisher, Office Manager of First Commonwealth Bank. And I'm Gladys Clifton, inviting you to look in every Thursday at 7 p.m., courtesy of Atlantic Broadband. And please feel free to contact us and also to give us feedback on the program. Thank you again, Ron.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.